cute fingers won't be perfect. Okay,
Okay.
so just to recap what we talked about at the beginning, at a later date, we're going to schedule a Facebook SharePoint class that Delia, who's our current social media point of contact, or POC, or the chairperson, is going to walk us through exactly how to do it. All of us will know how to do it. And then we're going to recommend that one of our newest recommended members that I'm gonna invite to become a part of the exec board, become our social media chair, is Rashonda Thomas. She's the admin person for the Women's Mentorship Network that's been out for a few years, and actually got endorsement from Michelle Obama, but didn't get off the ground. She got the endorsement, but it didn't go anywhere. I think it might have been when the Obamas were leaving office. Because just how long ago could that have been? You know,
I mean, it'd be kind of
it's been a
cool
minute.
if now we get endorsement from them.
Well, and that's
Just
going to be our
saying.
next step, which is why I want to partner with the Women's Mentorship Network, because they're already online. They have over 400 people, and I've been involved in some of their chats, and that's how we connected, because she said she had been trying to reach me for the last few years. I said, God does things for a reason. You got to go.
I hate to interrupt you. I just, let me get you guys what you need.
Go ahead. Get your part to Facebook.
Okay. So Facebook, once we get the training done, I've got the Facebook page currently following the links that you all had before. That's CASCOM. That's 3 other pages that you all had. So we're following them. Second thing we're going to do is once we get that picture approved on there, I think you were mentioning, we're going to have one temporary picture until we get an official picture that we want to have sanctioned. That'll be the main Facebook page. We're going to send out a request to the pages that we're following to request who their POCs are, so that any information that we send out, if we're following them, we're asking them to publish it through theirs, because they may have other Facebook pages. But then we want them to follow us so that they can get the same information. It's following each other. Sounds crazy, but that's what we can do. Right. The last thing is with that, we're going to link that Facebook page to our SharePoint. Now, what I did was, there are 2 SharePoint sites that I created. The main one, that's the forward-facing SharePoint. CJ and Claudia tag team with us with me to be able to make sure that it's built the right way. We want to make sure that forward-facing SharePoint site, we have to send the email address out to people. Do we want that site to have any kind of access granting, or is it just open to everybody? Because that SharePoint is, you send the email out to people with the link to say, here's the link for SharePoint. We can put that link to the SharePoint on our Facebook page, but that's only limited information that we want people to see.
So here's what we need to do. We need to reach back out to the WIT and talk to them about the platform that General Donahue did. Okay. Remember, we did all this and we were supposed to link it to their program under the WIT's website for TRADOC. So if we can link it, go ahead.
So I told you I was going to go to TRADOC. So on Monday, I'm scheduled to go to TRADOC. So I'm going to speak to Brian E. And then from there, we can link it up with what General Donahue was doing. And I do know that they did that project has not been completed, ma'am. Uh-oh. It has not been completed. It has not been rolled out. So, and that's one of those things that was left up in the limbo. So now by us talking to Brian E., it's either it becomes completed and then we roll out, or what are they going to do?
Right. So I'm going to email, I'm going to send you, I'll CC you all tonight. I'm going to send this to them and say, hey, Mari is heading there on Monday. Here's where we are. We want to launch, but we don't want to launch and double tap the same platform if you all have this leadership. So when is it going to happen?
On the 20th,
Brian, Carolyn, Anastasia, Keiko don't know.
So on the 20th,
okay.
I'm going to be there on the 20th. Yes.
Okay. But that's right. Monday's a holiday. But we have to let them know that they're held up. They're not doing anything with it. And we need to know what they're going to do. Because if not, we're going to do our own thing.
Yep.
So
okay. Well, then just let me know what that stage is. And so we'll get those two main things done. If we can get Mara, if you and I can tag team to see what we're going to do there, we'll build what we have and publish what we have. And you're, of course, always able to build on it. or take
Mhm.
off, do whatever you have to do
Agreed.
there. Okay,
Agreed.
but the second SharePoint site, and CJ, you and I think you've got a SharePoint site that you work. But we can have an internal SharePoint that's just only us. That's where the database should be. That's where we have the ability to go in and put, some updates and notes from our meetings that we may have.
Uh-oh,
And that,
did I freeze? Did I freeze? Okay, there you go.
No, you're good. We see you.
oh, my battery's
Okay.
going dead. Before it cuts off, guys, but I didn't know my battery was going dead.
Hey,
Okay,
Delia.
So we'll talk about this when we do your class, Delia, and what we'll do is we'll
Okay.
talk through what we want to make sure we have on that SharePoint page, as well as the value of an internal and external when it comes to linking with the WIT-T's platform.
Mhm.
Perfect.
So we'll have to see what
Perfect.
all that looks like. So we'll talk more about that then.
Okay.
Okay, Delia. Mari, CJ, Claudia, do you all have anything for Delia before she leaves?
Hey, Delia. So once
Mhm.
we get all the portal and the share drive, then what
Mhm.
we could do is cut those link out and put them in the actual concepts brief. And
Okay.
that way, everybody be able, once you open, then you could just see, you could have just hyperlink it. And that is
Perfect.
awesome because we are able to access it that way directly.
Perfect. Okay, that'll work, guys.
So
And
all those
ladies,
things,
we'll
like,
talk more
we
about
should
this
create
after
a
Delia
share.
gets off.
We should create a,
We can talk more about this.
Yeah. You know what we could create? We have to create a reference live for that concept brief that you have, ma'am. To
Uh-huh.
make sure that we hyperlink, we hyperlink all this stuff in there.
Okay. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, hon. All right, bye-bye. All right, ladies, can you all hear me? I'm driving back up
Yes,
to my
ma'am.
house. If I cut off or if I don't sound like it might be just me reconnecting with the internet. Okay, I'm now going to take a deep breath and slow my talking down because I know when Delia was going fast, I'm going fast too. So, first of all, hey, ladies, I miss you and I hope you have been well.
You know what I have been doing? Yeah, just the same way. you have.
Yeah.
I sent you another batch
Yeah.
of emails today.
Okay, I'm gonna jump on them tonight. But okay, so now let's go to the agenda that was well written in the text, and I'm gonna jump on the computer and look at the email too, because I haven't had a chance to. We just got back from Fort Knox today, and so I will let Claudia lead us through each of the sections of the agenda, and then we'll discuss each one. Claudia, you ready to do that? Uh-oh. Can
It's
you hear
okay.
me,
Just
my
pull
dear?
just
Or
pull the
is
same
everybody
thing you
frozen?
did, Claudia, and share your screen, and we could go through it.
Uh-oh. Hold on just a second. Let me get inside the house. You probably can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
ma'am. I have to log into my email. Ma'am.
So I do know we're gonna talk about the committees and who was gonna be in charge of the committees, ma'am. And that
Okay.
was a point of discussion because we wanted to be able to direct the volunteers to specific committees. And we knew exactly, and we would know exactly who's in charge of that. I do
Okay.
know that we have not, based on, the conversation that you and I and Delia had last time, we haven't decided on who's gonna be in charge of each committee. So if CJ, if you have anything in particular you want to volunteer for, any committee specifically, and Claudia, if you have any specific.
So when you say volunteer for a committee, have we solidified what the committees will be, ma'am?
So they were in
Right,
the
that's
SO,
what we
they're
have
in
to
the
do
SOP.
first.
Yeah, they're building on the SOP. And that's why we're
Let's
trying
go
to
back
pull the
through
actual
them though,
SOP.
because I haven't looked at the SOP. I don't think in.
Trust me, I was trying to pull the latest and greatest, and the one that is there does not have the original committees that we set up. So I'm trying to
So
pull
let's-
ones
So
before.
I think we have to just
Yeah,
go
I've never
back
seen
through
the
them.
SOP.
Yeah, I haven't either. If it was called something different, maybe, but
Yeah.
I've never seen an
Well,
SOP.
you did, ma'am. It was, I think you called it, you were the one that wrote it, basically, ma'am. You and I and Colonel.
Was it
Colonel
SOP though?
Papa. No, we called it something else. I just used the word.
Okay, yeah.
We
So,
called it something else.
so
But
CJ, it
remember
wasn't
we wrote it
SOP.
that it had specific committees. That's before you were voluntold to join us, CJ.
Gotcha.
Because CJ is the only one that said, wait a
Okay.
second, I never sent a RB.
Yeah, I'm like, what
You were
are
just
we talking
voluntold to
about?
come in.
Right. So that's why we have.
Right.
So let's start it fresh. Pull it back out. Go over each of the committees. Discuss what committees make sense since we've been in operation for so long. Let's discuss what makes sense, what's valuable. And then from there, we can then determine, because right now we can't determine it because we're not all on the same sheet of music of
Yeah, I
what
have to pull out
the committees.
I had to pull out the actual, it's the one that it was not,
Yeah.
it was not recalled the SOP. I think you called it,
Right.
the policy letter. You call it the policy letter.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So the original policy letter that we
Yes, the
had,
original policy letter
yes,
had
and
committees.
it had it in there.
Exactly.
So we'll definitely have to modify and double check that because we've evolved since then. I don't think we have looked at it in so long, but I'll tell you, just like when we brought in the civilian piece of it, we may want to update the policy letter with a new signature on there, but
Yep.
yeah, so let's take some
That
time to
it's
look
more
through
like,
that.
I do know the policy letter that is there has certain
Mhm.
things, but it doesn't have the original committees that we had.
Okay,
With that being said, like those committees that you had were pretty, and that's why I'm trying to find the original one.
okay,
Because you do that, whatever, those the committees were pretty solid. I know one of them was outreach, and that was a pretty good one, which we
Right.
still continue to do outreach based on us going to mentor all the organizations.
right. And so I haven't even unpacked yet, but so the original policy letter, let's look through that. Let's take some
Mhm.
time because I know we can't make decisions tonight. But the discussion, I will tell you, the social media, the events / social coordinator piece. Social
Mhm.
media is different from socials chairperson, admin secretary, treasurer. Those are all the chapters. The positions. Add in. We've got
See, Claudia
CJ as
pulled
the
it up.
deputy. Oh,
So
you go
Claudia
for it.
pulled it up. Do you see that?
Yes,
That is just the
awesome.
email. It's not,
That's what that was in the email. You're awesome.
it's
Yes,
not
Claudia.
captured in every committee we had in the concept brief.
Yep, so those are the committees that originally we spoke about, ma'am. Those are the. And they
Any of
still,
them, social media, admin, treasury, membership, event planning. Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, and so when we say committees, for us to look at those events or each of those positions
Mhm.
and determine what we want to do, here again, we have to determine what those committees are going to do because we've all been doing everything together. We just haven't had a treasury committee because there's nobody, we're not using any funds
Mhm.
in the executive board.
Mhm.
Membership committee, what are we saying in the membership committee? What are we looking to do? Develop and implement strategies to attract and retain members. Manage membership
That's one,
applications.
ma'am. You know, one other thing that we could add to that, the assisting in the setup of new chapters.
Yes, yep, that's a good one. And that's, well, no. Membership committee, what are we asking? That's why I was bringing this up. What are we asking to be a membership committee? What are we asking them to do? Develop and implement strategies to attract and retain members, manage membership application and renewal process. So originally we were thinking this was going to be, the CASCOM was going to be the chapter, and this is the original. But now that as the executive board, we're having subordinate chapters, what membership are we trying to get on the executive board?
Yeah, I think
Versus,
that's a
and the
good
reason I'm
one.
bringing this up is because we need another committee that would say chapter management, separate from membership. And I only say that because our executive board does what? We organize, coordinate members' events? No, we don't. We coordinate our monthly events. We communicate. Now, membership for the executive board, separate from chapter management or maintenance or development. We should have a mentor and mentee matchup. Mentors, that's a good one. Mentee committee, mentor mentee committee. So absolutely.
Can we add that
CJ,
one, Claudia? I see you writing. Is that you, Claudia? Yeah.
Yes,
no,
ma'am.
CJ wrote that in there, but yeah, Claudia, if you. Did I? Did anybody hear that? Did I
Yeah,
miss
I don't know
myself?
who's writing. Who's writing? I'm sorry.
That's me, ma'am.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, okay, so monitor, yeah, that's, so what Claudia is doing, she's doing it directly to the SOP.
Perfect. I
Got it.
lost it. I lost my view screen. Hold it.
You lost your big screen.
No, I lost the, there it is. I tapped in, I put you all on the big screen and, okay, here it is. Now I can zoom in. So if we look at the main ones that we either need to create, which is the
Mentor, yeah, the
mentor,
mentee
mentee, or
matchup.
mentor matchup, if you want to call it the mentor matchup, or we got to come up with a name.
Well, just
Sponsorship. Do we want to make it a sponsorship or mentorship sponsorship or mentorship mentor matchup? We can call it that for now. I don't know. It just doesn't sound like a mentor matchup committee. We had a different term for it when I said that, but early on, but I won't worry about it right now. But yes, definitely want that mentor mentee committee or assignment committee. But here again, let's go back to, and then this is discussion for everyone. CJ, Claudia, you guys join in. I don't want it to just be me and Mara. You know, we can keep going. But let me just ask the question. For the executive board, we have one set of rules or one set of tasks. For the general membership or general body, we are focused on two separate things. General body being the monthly fourth Thursday of the month, people that join in those sessions, separate from chapter establishment, where we get people to establish their own and have their own membership, which of course we still need to be connected to, where we have our own separate tracking system of the chapters and the numbers in the chapters, just like the Rocks. The Rocks has a national board, and in the national board, they have their own management piece. But then subordinate to the national board, they have their subordinate chapters who maintain and operate independently of each other, but report up. If you all have you all been on the Rocks chapter website?
Yep.
Okay. And so you'll see how they do theirs. Here again, we model our FMP after the Rocks, because that's just how I started. And what better place to get a great template of how to make it successful? The only difference is we're not 501c, and we're doing this internal to the Army, not external, because they are technically external to the Army because they're a nonprofit organization. And so I bring back the two separate tasks of maintaining membership of people that dial in, like all of our senior leaders that dial in, the retirees, the active components, the reserve, the civilians that dial in on our every other Thursday, that want us on their distro list, or they want to be on our distro list, versus the chapters separate distribution, or because we want to have a separate distribution list for the chapters, i.e. every president or every chapter board president, we would have in a distro list when we want to send out messages to the chapters individually, say, we need your quarterly reports, or we need, send us your newsletters. We're, this is what's going on. And oh, by the way, hey, chapter board presidents, we're going to meet at AUSA and do such and such and such. That's not for the general body. That's for just the chapter presidents and their boards, their subordinate boards. Just like Team Redstone. Team Redstone has a board now. I reach out to Danita Daniels, who's the director of their board, and I make sure she and I stay connected, and then she'll tell the rest of the board what's going on. And she'll always let us know when they're doing something so that we can either join in, be invited, or not. But at least we can advertise for them as well. Because I told Delia on the website and Facebook page, I want to advertise for all the chapters. I know we've all talked about this individually or at different times, but I want to help advertise for their programs as well. That way the FMP name and bug, and people are like, well, why don't we have one? And so that'll help grow it as well.
Ma'am.
I'll pause right there. Go ahead.
So just a thought, I think there's got to be a way that we make it that 1 month is just the main chapter meeting. And I say that because example, you have in the Sec Army, right? That's a big deal. So you want to make sure that every chapter attends that. So that will be 1 month where you say like, hey, this is the month dedicated to the main chapter. That makes sense?
I understand where you're going with that, but I don't want them to not have the opportunity to have their own monthly session. Here's why. Theirs are like most sessions for them in person are during the day, whereas ours
Mhm.
is a virtual at night. So they
Mhm.
can still join in ours. We just want to be able to invite all of them
Yep.
and have them there. But I don't want it like Team Redstone. If we get the Sec Army in August and they have Miss Honorable Shu in August in person, I don't want to tell them they can't do her in August because of us. But what I do want to do is, hey, want to promote yours, but I want you to have an opportunity, but I want everybody to join his senior leaders and all to join in this session with the Sec Army. But
So
feel free
question
to
about
continue to
yours,
have your
ma'am.
own monthly sessions.
So question about yours. So
Yeah.
the question is, when do they have it? So if they have it on the Thursday that we have it, that's why I say, hey, that's the day that is dedicated only to this chapter.
Right,
Does that, so, but if it's during the day, then that makes it different.
right. But what,
and-
so I guess I'm confused. Are you saying the month, dedicate the month to us or the day?
The day and the time, because I was assuming, I made a bad assumption that all the chapters were doing at the same time we did,
No.
but they're not. And I guess I was making that assumption based on the fact that sometimes the acquisitions and sometimes the brag, they kind of doing it at the same time we have.
CJ, what are your thoughts on that? Do you all do it at the same time, the fourth Thursday of the month?
CJ,
CJ say, I got kids to deal with. CJ, you there? Okay, well, we'll get her back in just a minute.
so I'm just saying, like, if it's at if those chapters have it at the same time as we do in the same day, then hey, no, this is dedicated only for that chapter at that time.
And I agree with that. I thought you were
Okay.
saying dedicate 1 month to only us,
No, I misspoke.
not a
ma'am.
day.
And I was
Okay.
saying that because even today I said I was touching bases with Captain Dozier and made a meeting. So I made a meeting for next week with Major Trombley. I mean, with General Trombley. And the question is, would that make us, like, example, if we have the Sec Army, do we want to have a co-host with you? You know, have her be part of the co-host because she's a GO also.
When you say co-host, what do you mean?
Like, you know how usually all of us host, right? Kind of, except you're the main host, right? But then that day, do we want to have her take an active role? Because the Sec Army is the one that is going to be the invited. Does that make sense?
Yes, but no, we don't want General Trombley to do
Okay.
it. Because of the relationship I've established with her
Mm-hmm.
and having her on, we're going to talk about why she is on the program
Okay.
and how she became part of the program. And so General Trombley doesn't have that connection, but I appreciate what you're saying, having a GO there, but luckily we don't need the GO aspect of it.
And oh, by the way,
We-
the for Leavenworth chapter has taken off so much. I have heard
Yeah.
so much about that chapter.
Yeah,
Like
that's awesome.
She truly has put her back into it, like we say.
Well, you got a general. I mean, get a general into anything, and guess what's gonna happen? People gonna follow behind.
Oh
So,
my
no,
God,
I
but she
completely
has
agree with
like,
that.
she's like a big advocate for female mentorship. So I could see like she has taken that baby and like she has hit the ground running. She
Right.
has like, nope, you give me a chance to do this. Guess what? I
Let's do
love
it.
it.
Well, and
I'm gonna own
she's
it.
got General Beagle there to make sure
Mhm.
she's on top of it too. So, okay,
Yep.
so CJ had to drop off, or probably I don't know. Hopefully, she'll dial back in. Okay, so then, like I said, what we just confirmed is we will make sure that every chapter understands that the fourth Thursday of the month is our chapter meeting at 1800 to 1930.
Yep.
If anybody's having a session at that time, then they're wrong.
Exactly.
But I'm
That'll
not
be-
going to stop them on having it earlier that day if it's a day session.
Exactly.
But what we don't want to confuse, we'll make sure when we put it out and we're advertising people, hey, this is what's going on. But you also have tonight. So the more we flood the systems and the emails with FMNP, the more we'll have support where people are paying attention to, hey, why don't we have a chapter?
Mhm. And
Mhm.
how about we have a newsletter committee, ma'am?
So that's a great one. So that is a correspondence committee, not necessarily a newsletter, but any type of correspondence, flyers, newsletters, programs, any type of correspond. But the newsletter would fall definitely in there, unless you think it should
I
just
think
be the.
it should be just a newsletter, ma'am, because what we want to do is have from every chapter, have a member that is going to be a member of the committee. Remember that we said we're going to do a newsletter that is going to be, it's going to be a encompassing
Yeah.
newsletter. So that will give us the latitude to have from every chapter a member of the committee, meaning that that person is going to be providing material on behalf of their chapter.
Oh no, I totally understand that. But then separate from that, because remember, we always have two tasks. We
Mhm.
have the chapter management and then executive board management.
Mhm.
So the executive board has to have our own newsletter where we bring in information about chapters. And
Yep.
then if they're sending us their newsletters, then task number 2 is to bring in and do something with their newsletters.
Yes, and
But
that's why I
here's an
say that, ma'am, because then the newsletter, so I would run that committee for the newsletter with you and Delia. And we would actually have, then ultimately we responsible for producing the final product.
I'm with you on that, but let's see who we can get into the executive board to do that as well. Let's make
Okay,
that also someone
fair
we
enough.
can, but we'll start it out. But let's bring somebody in that can manage it. That's going to be a cumbersome task.
Mhm.
The reason I said correspondence committee, because any correspondence, programs, invitations from the
Mhm.
chapters, not just a newsletter, unless we
Mhm.
separate them, but then that's more people. So when we get invitations to each of the chapter events, when we get newsletters from the chapter events or news from the chapters, when we get flyers, things like that, I was saying someone, 2 people, or a committee should manage all correspondence that come in from a chapter or from chapters, and then connect that with our internal executive board correspondence. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like
Yep.
our invitations that go out, I still send them out because of the name, the rank, the people that I connect with. And that's not you guys can't do it. It's since I've already made that connection, they know the name tied to FMP, and then they know the whole board.
Remember, ma'am,
And
that we spoke about, you and I spoke about potentially having the actual, so we needed to set up an actual Outlook account for the FMMP. And
yes,
having that Outlook account potentially be the one that sends out the invites and the
right.
correspondence on your behalf.
So I'm with you on that one. That goes back to the management of the executive board. So we'll
Mhm.
have to see if it becomes more productive to do it that way. We have to test it out because right now, oh no, you're right. You're absolutely right. If we create an email
Mhm.
and send it out via Outlook, we just have to figure that out because that goes
Yep.
back into the audit. What is it?
Because that goes to
Comms.
like, remember sending out the status and sending out the invites so that.
So that falls under
Yep.
correspondence committee
Yes.
to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, as opposed to just newsletter, that's
Yep.
a part of correspondence. So that the admin secretary, so that Clofty is not trying to manage that while doing our internal executive board stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's a lot. And so having a committee to manage that piece, whereas Clofty, I see you as our executive board admin person that oversees all correspondence, and we'll all oversee it with you because that's just what we do.
Mhm.
But you're not the person connecting the correspondence dots. We need a separate person and a committee to do that. to focus on that. And it's because there's so much tied to each of the sections under the committee. So now that we have people that are coming from the WIT rejection letter team, all of us, if you haven't received yours, then it might be waiting on you. If not,
I know, right?
But-
We are like,
I
yeah,
got
you're
mine.
rejected.
Delia got her. We got ours. We all in the rejection, but we're already connected with them, so it really doesn't matter. But those people that are sending us, sending us emails, we'll start putting them on the team and start making them part of the executive board subcommittees, committees under our program. Admin wise, Claudia, if your bandwidth supports it, if not CJ's bandwidth and then Mari's bandwidth, the bandwidth has to be to monitor specific committees. Each of us will have specific committees to monitor, oversee. Correspondence, you and Mari would oversee how it's going, because you'll know, Claudia, what's going out, and you and Mari can monitor how the directors are managing those chapter correspondence products. And Mari, you being the director, the big director, can watch all of the other directors for the subordinate chapters and how they send out things. Separate from that, there's a social media aspect at the executive board that must monitor all social media sites, or at least have information and connections with the social media sites, or representatives from the chapters is what I mean.
Is that what we
And-
want to have Rashonda Thomas too?
That's one of the things that I'd love to have her as the Women's Mentorship Network. Talk to her about how much she knows. I tell people, I don't want to tag you with something that you're not good at. If you're not good at social media, I'm not tagging you to social media. So we'll talk. I've talked to her tomorrow to see what she does. And I did give her heads up. I would love to have you as part of the group to partner and also create, committees to work with. And so we'll talk more about what her specialties are, what her talents are, and go from there. Definitely want to put these people to work when they all come on board. We just have to decide how many people we want on the committees. And I say that because, just like I was telling the WIT, when you get inundated with a lot of people that want to join it, it's too many people to manage. So you
So
need two
the
or three
outreach,
to be able.
ma'am, I think
Hold on,
the
let-
outreach
hold
was
on.
separate from the correspondence committee.
So the outreach is.
Yeah, the outreach is separate. It's like so outreach is literally what we do whenever, like if you go mentor,
Oh, yeah.
example, ASC student. That's
Oh no, but
that's
I didn't.
part of
Bring up
outreach.
outreach at the time. No. I'm with you. So I wasn't bringing up outreach at the time, but
No, I'm
since
looking
we're
at
there-
what Claudia is typing. That's why I was looking. I was mentioning what Claudia, so Claudia actually was typing on
Oh, I
a,
didn't
yep,
see it. Hold on.
correspondent committee. So I say outreach is separate out there. So that's a separate committee, the outreach.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that. I wasn't even looking at it.
It's okay, Amanda, because I know you say you have the smaller screen. I have the big screen.
Yeah, there you go. Outreach committee. Perfect. So that'll be throw one more E at the end of committee, and then make
One more
that.
E at the end of committee, Claudia.
There you go.
There
Perfect.
you go.
And then I will tell you the first one for that is community events.
Yep.
And briefings. Yeah, they hit the first one. Right click on that again. Oh no, just right click. No,
No,
I was just gonna help you spell committee right.
Yeah.
Community, right.
community.
There you go. The first one at the
Yeah.
top. Did you see it? You just
It's
click on it next
CU
time.
It's COMMUNITI.
I was stuck on
Yeah.
committee in my head.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I got
Future
you.
reference, when you do that, you see the list of name, the ways they can spell it, you just click on the top one.
Yes, ma'am.
Community events, community events can vary. So,
Yep.
FMMP informational tours, or informational briefings. And that can be the schools, universities,
Mhm.
And then community events is, or community events
Um,
are,
Can we say any recruiting events that we attend also?
there you go, recruiting, FMNP. Instead of informational, yeah, recruiting, yep. Yep.
And you could put in their Army recruiting events, because we are kind of assisting them. So if we assist, like, if you actually, this, any local recruiting events,
Mm-hmm.
then if we attend those, that's part of the outreach too.
Yeah. You can take FMNP off because we know it's all FMNP.
Mhm.
There you go. And then take that second space out, extra space out.
Yes,
There you go.
ma'am.
I would put community events would be, I almost want to say AUSA and
Yep.
other
Join the
engagements.
Jones Woman Symposium, all those.
JWLS, yep,
Yep.
AUSA, JWLS, and that's us attending them, not actually, well, we could do stuff, but us officially attending AUSA, comma, JWLS, comma, WIMSA, Women in Military, you know, the museum, I'm sorry, not the museum, the
We should add
memorial in
Latina in
DC,
style there.
Latina in Style. Speaking of that, I got to finish it tonight, and I'm
You
submitting
could add
tomorrow.
Latina in style.
Yep, put that, yep,
Actually,
Latina. There you go.
because
In
remember
style.
that was part of, like, we want to emphasize that, hey, we are reaching out to this community
Yep.
too.
Oh, and put rocks.
Yep.
Speaking of that, I want to speak to the rocks again. Ink, okay. Going down to recruiting events. You don't necessarily need Army. I'll tell you why. Because if we have the opportunity to go joint, let's do it.
No, that's
Take
what I
out
was gonna
Army.
put. Army, put all the services. I was gonna put all the services there, just any recruiting. Like today, I
Well,
actually
if you
was
don't,
talking
if you
to-
don't put services, then that means all services. So there's no need to designate services.
Okay. So
But
just
what
put
I
out.
would like to put in there is recruiting events such as ROTC,
Mhm.
college and universities.
Yep. So you could put
Yeah, there you go.
JRTC and RTC then in that case.
Okay.
Put JRTC also, because we have a JRTC, so an ROTC, so they kind of like a sequential thing.
Mhm. Bless her heart. We talking so fast. She's like, Lord,
She's
y'all
like,
slow
she's like,
down.
I don't know what these ladies are
Oh, we
talking.
love you, Clofty. You're doing great, girl.
Mhm.
People get excited about stuff. Just start
Just remember,
blasting out of
hey,
our mouth.
Claudia is JROTC and is ROTC. So
Yeah, just
setting,
throw a J in front of ROTC.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah, there you go.
And then college and universities. Let's just say that
Mhm.
because it's not just about those coming in the military. We want to do college and universities, and the DACA, Defense. I can't remember who they are. Not DACA. DARP.
DARF is the
I'm gonna
DARPA.
remember. Is it DARPA?
I thought it's
I-
DARPA, but I can't remember what it's
No,
stands for.
I can't remember it either. I have it in an email because somebody don't put DACA. Somebody put it in. I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
put
DACA means
civilian.
something completely different.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, don't put that in there. That's like, that is
I
like,
just thought about Trump. I just thought about that.
yeah, don't put it in DACA. That would be like, that will get us out.
Yes. But we just said something that just clicked in my head. Dang it. Okay, outreach community. We'll come up with more things there. Correspondence program coordinator committee. Come back down to this one. Make it a number 2.
Ma'am, in the number 3, we have to talk about our AIT classes in our basic training classes and cadet classes.
Oh, outreach events. That's community outreach. Outreach committee.
In number
Yep,
3,
you're right.
put in the
Yep.
cadet
Military
command.
organizations.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, and in parentheses, yep, cadet command.
Yep, or,
recruiting command. Because there's a
and,
command piece separate from the recruiting events.
and AIT
yep.
and like,
I would say initial entry.
there you go, initial entry programs.
Mm-hmm. Which the acronym is IET, initial entry training. That's officers and enlisted. And then 4 would be CASAs, CASA interaction, which is civilian aides to the Secretary of the Army.
Okay,
The reason we're doing that is whatever events they have going on, let's get involved. Just hover over interactions. There you go. Or right click it. Yep. So that would be community. Well, we already have community events. Yeah, there you go. That's it. CASA interaction. Now, correspondence program committee. I don't think we need coordinator. We can take coordinator off because that's the committee. They're going to coordinate. Let me decline my son. Let me call you back. Hold on just a second, ladies. Sorry, my son can't talk right now, baby. Okay, I'm back in. Okay. All right. Under correspondence program committee, newsletter, newsletter
Slides,
management.
flyers.
My baby. I love him. Oh, my son tried to call me and he sends me this SpongeBob crying. In a meeting, boo. Will call. Hold on just a second. Oh, right after. Alrighty. Okay. Newsletters. Chapter. There you go. Yes.
Should that fall under the
Chapter flyers. Go ahead, honey. I'm sorry. What now?
No, I'm so sorry, ma'am.
No, you're fine.
Okay. So correspondence committee is gonna oversee the chapters affairs as well, even though we have a chapter management committee. We want it to be different.
Well, it's not the.
Everything
It's
that-
not the. I'm more
No, it's
focused
something
on their
different.
newsletters, the chapter newsletters, invitations, and flyers.
Yeah, that's something
So-
different than the chapter management committee. That's what she was
So-
asking.
Yep, different. So invitations, monthly or chapter invitations and flyers.
Mhm.
Same thing with chapter newsletters.
And just how do we say that any pertinent data, that any pertinent information that has to be shared?
Okay, number 3 then will be all chapter products.
Yep. Chapter updates, how about that?
Okay, products and updates.
There you go. I like that.
Perfect. And then separate from that, the chapter management is how they're going to assist the chapters in operating.
Yep, that's like setting up the chapters and assisting with the SOPs and all that, like kind of like providing starter kit. That is in itself one. And potentially, and we have to put in there potentially TDY presence if required.
Let me ask, correspondence program committee. Take out program because it's a correspondence, but what if we say chapter correspondence committee
I like that better.
and just focus on chapter? Then we can take out the chapter on each of the 3 lines and say newsletter management, invitations and flyers,
Yep.
products and updates.
Concur.
Okay. How you like that, Claudia?
Yes, ma'am. Because I was saying that person, even though they gathering the chapter newsletters, but they also aren't they compiling and making a nice like a executive newsletter that includes the chapters in it, maybe. As
So
a-
that goes back
and a-
to, so that goes back to our discussion. Remember when I was saying how we have to have two separate trains of thought?
Mhm.
What we do for the executive board
And what?
is separate what we do for the chapters. And so the executive board newsletter is not a committee, that's us. Compiling what the chapter correspondence committee puts together, they'll do that and then they'll bring it to us so that we can create our internal chapter or executive board newsletter. What do you think about that?
That sounds good, man.
Hey,
Mari, what are your
Claudia?
thoughts on that too?
No, I agree, ma'am. I was gonna tell Cloud that along with that line of thought, on chapter correspondence, can you take the chapter out of number one,
of the
number two,
sentences.
and number three? Just take it out,
Yeah,
take it
Yep.
off and just leave the actual, yep,
Yep.
just take that off in the next one.
perfect.
Yep,
And so that would be FMNP, well, not FMNP. So what I just said about separating the two trains of thought, these are committees that are subordinate to
the head, the executive.
founder,
board.
director, deputy director, and they fall under, so like correspondence falls under the admin secretary.
Mhm.
That would be a sub chapter. Social media, social coordinator, we would probably fall under chapter management committee or make it a whole separate committee.
Well, that will be, so social media will fall directly into the social media person
No,
have. You don't want to do
no,
that?
not the social media committee. It's remember we had a social secretary
Yes, we did.
separate from social media, which is a
Mhm.
whole nother, yeah. So the social
So-
secretary
That's
could
awesome.
be the social committee secretary.
Mm-hmm.
And then chapter management would fall under the social committee secretary.
And that goes with what we are talking about, maybe potentially having to bring more people in the executive board.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Because these people that are dialing, so I'm very keen on the rank structure
Mhm.
of people that are getting rejection letters. And
Mhm.
E5, as much as I love an E5, will be a part of a committee, not the committee lead.
Yep.
An officer or a senior officer, not senior officer, but a senior officer and an NCO or a civilian who wants to run the committee, I'm more prone to letting run based on the rank and the experience and the time in the military or civilian community, because they'll be able to manage people and the tasks at hand. A junior lieutenant is not going to be able to manage senior people to that person. And there was a lieutenant that was responded to. So as much as I love them, I want to help grow them. That's all part of their internal mentorship as well, of running a program or running committees. Okay, so just make a note separate from that our internal executive board management will be over these these committees. The social chapter, I guess that's, so we may just want to keep it at outreach committee, chapter correspondence committee, chapter management committee.
Yeah, because we
Let's-
could always do is we could put somebody there to run the committee itself. And that person has a specific, like, we could call that, so we have executive members in the executive board that necessarily, they don't have to be assigned a specific position, but they run certain committees.
Right. Yeah.
That makes
Yep.
sense?
No, you're
Like,
right. Yep. I will tell you this.
because we don't have the bandwidth to do everything.
Right. And that's why you're right. That's why I said, let's make them all subcommittees. All committees under. So the people that we have right now, like admin secretary, is Clothia.
Mhm.
But I don't want Clothia to have to manage that committee because
No, I
she's
have a
managing the
lieutenant colonel
FMP
that she
executive
will-
board.
I have Letitia McGrady that could manage that committee.
Which one? The chapter
She's a lieutenant
correspondence
colonel.
committee?
Yeah.
Okay,
She's
so
Lieutenant
she would
Colonel.
not be subordinate to the admin secretary. She would just be a whole different
Yep, exactly,
committee.
exactly.
Outreach committee, we would have a person managing the out. I may have Rashonda. Well, like I said, I'll find out her strengths and her weaknesses and what
Mhm.
she would be more prone to. Would she want to do outreach committee or would she like to do social media? She may want to do outreach. Look at my phone. Hold on just a second, y'all. That's my
Mhm.
office phone. I hear it buzzing. Or do I? Oh no, I don't. What the hell? Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so let's look at putting individuals in those positions. And so here's what we have to make sure we do. We have to have information for them. This chapter correspondence committee, we need to make sure we reach out. We have the list. I know we have it, we have the master list, but have we contacted all these individuals
No, we
that
haven't.
made contact? Okay, so we have to spend the next 2-3 weeks making contact with these people. And if there's not a person that's in this position, but we have them listed as a chapter, we need to reach out to a command, someone in the command or the previous person that was there to say, who is managing your FMP section of chapter, and go from there. And then if there's no one, then we either modify and say, okay, we need to find out who will, or we may have to change. We just have to find out who's monitoring it, and if anybody's seen anything on a chapter in that area, if we don't have somebody.
And we
Like,
need to be sure that we
Mhm.
actually have another have another touch bases with every chapter leader of the individual chapters.
so once we get them, we're gonna have a meeting. Once we confirm all those people, we're gonna have a separate chapter meeting with all the chapters. Remember how we did the how to start a chapter?
Yep.
Now we're gonna get to, and it'll be separate from our Thursday meeting. We're not gonna do it during our Thursday meeting.
Mm-mm.
That's not the goal. Okay, all right, Claudia, under chapter correspondence number 4, I had it earlier, and of course I went brain dead. Newsletters, invitations, and flyers, products, and updates. You know what? No number 4 right now. My brain lost it. If I do come up with it, I will let you know. Okay. Chapter management committee, that number 1 is off. Might not be, you may want to just, here, I'll tell you how to do it. Whenever I have those problems, I take that and I make it the 4th or 2nd bullet. Put it inside the bullet. Yeah, cut it out. Right click. Oh, we'll try to see what it says about restarting. Okay, it's already there. So yeah, cut. Can you cut that out? If you can't cut it out, right clicking it, then find the cut button.
I'm going to reset it after, ma'am. So I can edit. I'm going to do afterwards before I resend this, ma'am.
Okay, what program are you in?
This is I'm in Edge, ma'am, and I'm in actually the email, the calendar.
Oh, okay. So if you
calendar.
go back to put it there, you can probably put your cursor over and drag it down to number 4.
Ah,
Go backspace or undo.
Undo.
Undo. Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
So
It's
this
not
is what's
allowing
throwing me
to
on.
do that. I'm gonna put it on a Word document so I can manage it.
Yeah, that'll help. Do you remember what you had written there?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Yeah.
These can go, ma'am, because can I these can go. All the different notes from the email so we can regenerate everything. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
up to you. You're going to copy and paste it over into a Word document, everything that you have on
Yes.
there, and then we continue to
Yes, ma'am.
modify. Cool.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
copying it and putting it in the Word is perfect. I'm gonna text CJ real fast while you're doing that. See if she's gonna join back in. I gotta check back in with West Point. See what's going on there. CJ, let's get out of here. Just do another. Mhm.
Hello.
Hey, I'm here. She's copying and pasting on into Word so we can finish editing. Oh, isn't that pretty? Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty.
Love you. I'm saying you are Zoom's guru.
She's awesome.
You gotta change that face, miss, and just take your compliments and own it. It's okay.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. We got it, ma'am. Mhm.
Okay.
We try to teach you again what not to do again, like so we don't become like us, because we became self-critical. Remember we spoke about that? That
Yes, ma'am.
we have become self-critical, too self-critical. So we are trying to teach you not to be like us.
Mhm. That's the perfectionist in us.
Yep, that's how I said, like, but remember
Mhm.
we had spoken that how the army had made us self-critical, too
Oh
self-critical.
no, that's just it.
In Athena
Self-conscious.
Rises, the book used to say that that we tend to become so self-critical that we never give ourselves a out of girl, out of boy.
Yeah. All right. So I tapped in the wrong area. That's what it was. Okay, there it is. Okay, that looks great.
Hey, Claudia,
Say,
just one point before we forgot, and ma'am, the
yes.
finding out and exactly when in the AUSA is General Brito and General Gervais going to be there, so we could try to make that a date for every one of us to be there to make a picture.
Yeah. To make a note of that,
And
Mari,
I
so
say
that
that
we don't forget that piece.
because we have to have, and I say that because I want to make sure that everybody has time to plan and make sure get the uniform together, put in leave or TDY if you have to, so we could try to all make it, so we could have our chapters pictures there.
So Claudia put in their additional notes, coordinate with TRADOC leadership
For chapter signing.
to determine dates for AUSA attendance. Yeah, perfect.
Yep, and you could put in there parentheses. Executive board members attend.
Put photo. Wait, what
There
do
you
you
go.
mean? What are
Even
you
better.
saying? Yeah, photo op. Just put photo op with exec board. And op, you can just put OP. And op really just stands for photo opportunity.
Oh, roger that.
There you go.
So that's the key for all of us to be there, like to
Yeah,
make
we'll
our best
come up with
training.
that. Okay, so let's scroll back up so we can make sure I'm gonna try to cut out a lot of my additional comments so that we can get down to the nitty gritty and then jump off. My food just arrived, girl. I'm starving, y'all. I'm starving. Been running all day. I want y'all to get back to your families too. Okay, so we are at this admin secretary committee, schedule and organize meetings, program, prepare, maintain, Let's go back down to
Before
where we
what-
were earlier.
Yes, ma'am, I can take all these out.
No, no,
This is
no,
what-
leave it all there. That's
Yeah.
all some good juju. That's all some good stuff.
I'll put it down there so we can focus on just.
Because then if
What
you
we were
send
already
us
working
this, Claudia, then the most we could do is build on it, not take away.
Yep.
'Cause it's a good lot of, a
That's
whole lot of good
perfect.
information.
Yeah, great work. Okay, outreach councils and a chapter management committee. Okay, mentor mentee matchup committee. So first of all, identify mentors
Yep.
through a call to action. There you go. So we have to reach out to say who wants to be a mentor. Now I'll tell you, the Rocks already has this program.
Mhm.
My girlfriend started in the Rocks, and I don't want to take away from what they're doing, but as far as mentorship, mentee, mentor, I've been very particular about that piece, because matching them up to me is a personal thing.
Mhm.
We want to make it, give them the opportunity to reach out to individuals. So we need create a mentorship, a mentor database. Oh my God, that is literally what the Rocks did. Just going to say create a mentor database is number 2. Where in this way, mentees can come from, or can look in there and see who they want to meet. Because I can't pair up I can say, hey, contact this person, but it's really hard for me to tell somebody. I've always had an issue with that, because I'm like, well, what if I choose somebody for you that just doesn't fit, you know? But what we'll do is the database will have information, resumes, photos, stuff like that, that people can reach out to. And I know CJ was going to have the opportunity to have was going to talk a little bit more about it. That's what she was asking earlier. I'll call her a little bit later. Create a mentor database to allow mentees to. I will say to allow mentees to select from. To say to select from. And what that means is we'll monitor who needs a mentor. But or let's say it this way, the committee chair will monitor who needs a mentor and provide them the list of names of, here are these individuals. Okay. So yeah, throw it in there. Number 3, monitor requests for mentors. There we go. Okay. All right. Committee chair, chapter correspondence committee did that. Chapter management, I like that. We'll work that. Okay, I think we should end here. If we have any more ideas, not the meeting, just in this part of it, and move to our second part of the conversation, which was in the email. I'm sorry, the text message. I'll go to that, which stated discussing monitoring the emails, designating days and times for people to monitor the FMP email. So like if I take every Monday, Mari takes every Tuesday, CJ takes every Wednesday, Delia takes every Thursday, Claudia, nope, we're not doing that to you, Claudia. I'll take Fridays. You guys take, Claudia, you do Monday. I don't want anybody to take their Fridays away.
Okay,
That's a me
ma'am.
thing. All right, so let's
So that
do
way
this.
that'd be good.
Yeah, so if you could go down and make another section. Event planning committee, we'll come up with that at a later time. You can take this, no, leave it there. Just take the space out of between that one and the chapter management committee. Just take some of those lines out. There you go. You just delete. There you go. Same thing with the chapter management. Take some of those lines out, maybe 2 of them out. Unless you,
Yes.
oh, go ahead. You want to fix that. Okay. What is that? Financial resources are allocated appropriately? Is that the word you were
Yes,
going for
ma'am.
down there?
In case we were, because we were initially we were. I'm sorry. No, it's not a part. It's just initially we were talking about possibly have a symposium. That's in the event that this comes. We at least have some tasks that are already
Oh,
determined.
absolutely. That was perfect.
It
No,
was
I
more-
absolutely agree. I saw the word that didn't finish though. Appropriately is where you were going with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Did you take it out?
No, ma'am. I don't.
What just
like,
happened? Did
I
move
went
it?
up because I cut it up. I made a mistake.
Oh,
Cutting it
I
up,
see
and
you're on
then
a
the
four
rest
screener
of it.
thingy. Gotcha. Okay, I didn't see it. I zoomed in, so I didn't even see the additional pages. My bad. But yeah, going to finish that word are allocated appropriately. APPROP. There you go. Now, under the additional notes, do you have additional notes already?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll
Coordinating
go on
with
it.
the trade up.
Okay,
We can leave that at the end or yes, ma'am.
so now that committee piece of it, let's now go to the next section. Email management, FMMP email management. That's separate. So those committees, that should be a subordinate. Those are subordinate bullets to the title committee establishment. How about that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes,
there you
ma'am.
go.
The committee establishment.
Oh no, all the way up. Nope, you still have more committees up top.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go. Perfect. And we'll pretty it up later on too, as much as we put this stuff together, because I'll have you send it to me as well, and we'll all
Yes, ma'am.
brainstorm more stuff and ideas. We'll put them in track changes. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
FMMP
what we
email
did last
management.
time.
Monday,
Mhm.
Claudia. And I recommend everybody just spend an hour or 30 minutes. It may not take that long, but it might. Spend an hour monitoring email, just going through and answering, responding to emails. Claudia, if you saw my response email with Mr. Brian Carroll on it,
Tuesday you could give me
that
Claudia.
what?
No, I'm telling Claudia she could give me Tuesday for
Okay.
email.
Oh, okay. Don't be throwing off my train of thought, Mari. Like, wait, what? Okay, that's one thing we gotta stop doing. We gotta stop interrupting and jumping in on over each other, because we'll lose the train of thought. Where was I?
You say we're talking about the man.
The what?
That's what you said. You said I was talking to this man about.
Oh,
Oh,
the email. I saw the email.
The email that Brian Carroll, that I replied to this one soldier, staff sergeant, that Brian Carroll had emailed, and I gave her this long, here's who we are, we'd love to have you join, blah, 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 send us an email. That's the template that we'll respond to people as we answer questions from new people. Every time we get a new person under the FMMP email, let's use that as the template of here's where we are. Thanks for your, understand we got a rejection letter. And here's the blurb that we'll send everybody. I'm not putting, I tried not to, I don't know if I did, but if I did, I got to change it. I don't want to put, I'm the founder for you all. You all would put on behalf of the FMMP executive board. I may have put, I'm the founder, or I may have put the executive board or the FMMP, or I can't even remember what it said, but bottom line is we'll tailor it to as we respond to people. We have to track. Go ahead, I'll let you put what you were putting. Where are
Hey,
you on that?
Ma'am, just one
There you
thought before anything. Hey, Claudia, can you put in there, just put answer emails or email correspondence and put in parentheses, use template provided by Colonel PB. or template provided. You could just say that.
Okay, so Mari, going off of what I just said, save that one and not interrupt, because here what happens is we get delayed and we're throwing a lot at her.
Sorry, ma'am.
I'm with you
actually
though. No,
going
I
to say-
appreciate. I know it was on your mind. Now make a note of it and say, okay, when she finishes, then I will say, hey, Claudia, please add this. But what happens is we're tripping up over each other, and we're not. I want to make sure we have the right rules of operating a meeting. So when we start inviting all these other people, we're not always interrupting each other. I don't want to interrupt you guys. I don't want y'all to interrupt me, and keep our
Sure.
train of thought. So where was I?
You were saying you didn't want to put the founder, you didn't want to put like you were the founder. You said,
Right. So I was going into, we have to separate and capture all the rejection letter people from other question people. There are people that are going to just send emails to say, hey, I heard about FMNP, versus the number of people that are going to come to us from the WIT, Army WIT trade, or the Army WIT's rejection letter. And that way we're tracking who wants to be personally involved. We'll keep them together. When I say everybody, we want everybody, but we need to designate this is a tab of distro people who were rejected from the Army WIT, because those are the people that want to actively work. So identify the Army WIT applicants who were or who received rejection letters. There you go. And when we say identify, and we want to identify, okay, create a separate distro list, or should I say response? Yeah, distro list, or should I, for that group. What I'm trying to do is, those are the people that we know. We're going to count up how many people came to us from the Army WIT, and we're going to let General Gervais know. We're going to let the Sec Army's team know, hey, from everybody that came from you all, this is who came to us. Does everybody understand that, why I'm doing that?
so is that accountability that you want to provide?
Yes. Well, not only that, I want to show them that this is how many people who applied to you literally came to us.
Okay.
Because there's going to be, remember when Brian said in his email, there are going to be people, they're inviting people to be on the WIT
Mhm.
and not FMNP. And then so some are going to the WIT, and then some are going to the FMNP. And so we'll keep them on the big distro list, but we want to identify them in a separate tab that says they received their rejection letters. And here's how many, ma'am, of the 823 that applied and the 793 that got rejected, 600 of them came to us. You see where
Okay.
I'm going with that?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. And then, so with emails, who's the next person? Claudia, CJ does Wednesday. You don't need the comma after her first name. There you go. Delia,
Thursday.
Lieutenant Colonel Allen, Thursday. And then Friday, me. Okay. And under that task, or go up, you know what? You can go back to number 3 if that's going to be the task. Oh, yeah. There you go. Task, dedicate 1 hour to responding to emails. I just say 1 hour. If you're all done, you're all done.
We get you, ma'am.
Yeah.
We know the intent.
Right. Number 4, use the same template, response template, same response template for because see, not everybody that we're responding to was rejected. So same, you use same response template for Army WIT applicants. For Army WIT applicants.
And I think we just have
Uh,
to create a separate template for the others.
Well, so for the others, it could be different. The
That's what
Army
I'm saying,
WIT
like create
template
a-
is definitely going to be almost the same. Hey, welcome. Thanks for applying. And here we are. The other ones are going to be, hey, how do I get involved? So there will be different responses to them.
Mhm.
How many people, you know, and so, but at least for this one, use the same template for the Army WIT applicants. And then from there, we'll just monitor and see. And if anybody has, number 5, call Colonel PV or Mari. No, you know what? Just leave it to me. Call me. If there are any questions on how to respond. That way, if you guys have an email and something comes up, you're like, oh, I don't even know how to respond to this. Just give me a call. And I say me because I don't want to take y'all. Like if you got Wednesday night or you got Thursday night, or Mari, you got Tuesday night, Coffee, you got Monday night. I don't want you to have to call Mari on Tuesday unless I'm just not available. And
Well,
that
but
way,
that's it, ma'am. Do you want it like, so do you want to have yourself, Colonel Pritchard Allen and myself parcel out so
Yeah.
that you will not have to be the one that is called all the time?
yeah, sure. I don't think we'll be calling a lot, but yep, that'll work.
So
Colonel
like for to
PB,
call,
Colonel PA, because she thinks like me. I mean, you know, you do too, Mari. And Clough, you're starting to. Yes, girl. We're all symbiotic twins. There we go.
triplets.
Triplets, that's what I meant. Okay. We're being quadruple. What's quintuplets? There's 5 of us now, so quins.
Isn't it
Okay.
quadruplets? Quadruplets.
Quadruplets are 4, and then the 5th one because you got
Quintuplets is
yeah
6.
quints. Yep,
Five.
quintuplets. Okay. Okay. So I think we're good on that topic. Let's go to the next one that's on the correspondence. Designated. We did the emails, ensure time and communication. Yep.
Oh.
Develop a plan to
what?
effectively direct. I'm reading the thing. Primary purpose of this meeting. Number 1 was designated specific time and day for monitoring and responding. I can't designate your time. You figure it out. Just pick an hour of a day when you do them weekly. 2, develop a plan to effectively direct new members to the committee that best suits their strengths and interests, maximizing their potential within the FMNP. So the plan has to be the discussion. We need to direct them to 2 people. Everybody doesn't need to fill that. And I put in there, I believe I put in there Mari and CJ as the 2 designated reps to talk to people interested in joining committees. Director and deputy director talking to each one of these people to say, well, here are committees. What do you think is best? Interview process. And we take their names down. We get
Yep.
their information. Like with Team Redstone, I had them send me resumes.
And we could still
But
do
I'm-
that, ma'am. We could have them send our SRB or an ORB.
Well, that to me doesn't. So here's what I'll tell you. That doesn't tell me who they are. It tells me what they've done and where they've been. But it doesn't tell me a bio on them or a resume, what their skills are. So what we would have to do is just tell them, give us a short bio that
Okay.
includes your strengths and weaknesses and interests.
Mhm.
A short bio, because then they can create it that way. So let me go back to the big page where you are, Claudia.
A one-page bio.
Claudia.
Yes,
Task,
ma'am.
Yep. Go up to number 6. Lieutenant Colonel Lee and Major Estelle Field, Field, all requests for membership to the
You said-
FMMP.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
It's okay, honey.
I'm not,
Field.
I'm not,
FIELD. And that really just means they're the ones that are going to take in all the questions, they're the ones that are going to receive. Like if you get somebody else interested, you tell them, great, please reach out to our director and our deputy director, Lieutenant Colonel Lee and Major Estelle, and they will give you more guidance on what to do. So Mari and CJ will field all requests for membership to committees, or all requests for keep member there. So just go back, move your cursor back over, committee membership. How's that sound?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And as sub bullet to number 6 is request a 1-page bio with strengths and interests.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, go back. I'm sorry, take out the and. There you go. And you put a comma right after strengths, comma, interests, comma, and desired committee. Because that's what I had them do for FMMP, for Redstone. What position do you want to hold? So for them, what committee you want to be on? Okay, and the next one is
Do you request ORBs or SRBs?
so that'll be part of their bio. What have you done?
You have me provide, I'm
See,
just
that's
saying,
the-
you
that's
have
the-
me provide an ORB and a resume and a
That will,
file.
but right, but remember, as we've evolved,
I'm just messing
as-
with you, man.
as we've evolved, I learned that just tells me your history. And I've been, look, that's why I did this with Team Redstone. I'm like, okay, your as we evolved, it was like, okay, that's some great info, but it's not doing anything for me because I don't know who you are.
Mhm.
I learned you because all of us became sisters. But for these people, quick, down and dirty, so we can tell them. Because honestly, that's giving us their personal information. Like, I'm not going to do anything with it. They can put all that in their bio. Okay, and then this one, I want to say create. Create a list or a weekly. That's what it is. Present a weekly, or should it be monthly? No, monthly is too long to assign people. Present a weekly list of interested parties
Mhm.
via email
Mhm.
to the executive board. Interested parties IES
Parties.
to the executive board with recommendations for committee involvement, selection, participation. Wait, didn't I have participants in there? No, committee membership. There you go, membership. So if Mari finds that somebody would be great for the social media committee, and 10 other people want to be on other committee. At the end of the week, if you have enough people, send us an email saying, hey, I spoke with this many people this week. 3 of them are interested in social media committee. 2 of them are interested in the treasury committee. And I recommend they all get selected, period. But it's only after, you know what? Make that a B, not number 7, because that's all still part of Mari and Lee and CJ's responsibility.
That's after
Okay.
we have audited their
And that's where I was
Right.
going with that. Take a week to do it, and then the following week send us information. What you think?
Yep, because we have to review the bio and potentially speak to that person.
There you go. So it bi-weekly then. So go up to, instead of present a weekly, let's do a bi-weekly. Present a bi-weekly at the beginning of B. And that'll give you a week or so to have them send you the stuff, which should take no more than 24 hours.
And then me
48.
potentially talking to them on the phone, or CJ talking to them on the phone and saying, you know what? Do
know
you
what?
want to arrange a time when we could talk? And
You know
that
what?
way-
Let's do that. Bi-weekly should have a dash in between
Yep.
the bi and the weekly. There you go. Bi and weekly. There you go. Bi-weekly interest. Okay, present a bi-weekly list or report. No, I like list.
I like this too.
Now,
Make it-
push that down to C and make B conduct interviews. Oh no, baby.
No,
Go back up.
back. So
Mari, let me tell it.
right after,
Let me tell it.
yeah.
There you go. After your end of your sentence, there you go. Conduct interviews with each applicant. To determine most useful. Oh, wait a minute. I was gonna say most useful position, but applicants to determine, I don't want to say worthiness. Best suited. Yes, girl.
There you
Best
go.
suited committees. Thank
There you go. I like that.
you.
Down and dirty.
Committee. There you go. And then present a bi-weekly list of interested parties to the executive board with recommendations for a committee membership. Boom. I think it's gonna say best suited is a dash in between. I don't know. I can't remember. I think I remember seeing it. Well, you know what? Leave it alone and see if it comes back and tells you.
I don't think I have there's a dash there.
Uh-oh. Okay. It took it out?
It
Grammar.
moves the committee in front of best suited. It says.
Oh,
the-
you know what?
to
Right
determine
click. Right click. No, just right click.
Uh-oh.
You're in Word now,
Hey,
right?
so do you know what it is?
Undo.
There's an extra word.
Yeah, so I was trying to tell her to
Determine
just go
committee
back.
best suited. Yeah. So it's determine best suited committee. For applicant. No, for. So like they're applying for the position is for applicant.
I
So
think the
after.
best.
Yep,
Yeah, the best suited committee. There you go.
they put.
For
So you put or applicant is for applicant. There you go.
okay. And then under that, number 7. So make it now a number 7 and make it select and introduce new committee members to the executive board. Wait, that should probably be D. You two should select them. I mean, we'll select them. We'll just leave it like that. Select and introduce. Bottom line is FMP board, exec board will
Yeah, because I think we'll recommend approval, but then ultimately we all decide,
Yeah.
hey, yes, then
Yeah.
let's say yes, then let's send a welcome letter saying, yes, you are assigned to this committee.
Yeah. So under that, okay, so after 7, go down to weekly schedule, bold that, and then put our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, bulletize that. You can bulletize the number, just scroll all the way down to the bottom of it. Oh, no, no,
No, just
bulletize it. You don't have to bold it.
put bullets.
Oh, bulletize. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yep, take the whole thing and bulletize. Yep. There you go. Okay. Additional coordinated trade out. Oh, my AirPods going about to get up. Okay. Well, no, what am I doing? Why am I taking? They die, they die. Okay. I'm going to, so I think that is good for monitoring that. For number 2, okay, that's the plan, maximize the potential. Number 3, discuss the possibility of recommending the establishment of new chapters at the same installation, fostering growth and expanding outreach or our reach. During the meeting, we will also review the various tasks within the social media, admin, secretary, treasury, and planning. I don't think we're ready for that right now. But the first part of it, discuss possibility of recommending, I think it's fine. But who wrote that?
For
That
recommended.
recommendation. Yeah, recommending the establishment of new chapters at the same installation, fostering growth and expanding. Totally understand why we would do it.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine.
No,
I'm just trying to figure out. So when we say recommending, who are we recommending it to?
No, so some I don't want to clash with your vision, ma'am, but some people might not want to be a part of the committee, but they want to start a chapter on there, just like we've been doing initially, like people that want to establish a chapter in their installation.
Absolutely.
Maybe get them together, connected to each other, the people that are on the same installation, so they can start a chapter. Because if they don't want to be a part of the committee, but they want to start their own chapter, which they're still going to funnel the information through us.
So that doesn't sound like what you just told me, what I'm reading. What you're saying, I heard you say, is connecting people that are on an installation to establish a chapter versus individual chapters on installation. If we connect them, they're going to all try to get with the same chapter, or let different organizations have their own chapters on the same installation. That's what I read. Each chapter, like there can be more than one chapter on an installation, is what I'm hearing you say.
Oh, no, maybe I
Or
wrote
read
it wrong. Yes, I wrote it wrong. But ma'am, I was thinking the way your intent initially was, like if somebody is interested in starting up a chapter, we were supporting and helping, just like this committee is going to support and establishing that chapter on their installations. In the event they don't want to be a part of the big committees, but they want to be starting their own chapter. I don't know if it's still the intent.
So that's literally the intent of what that was that part 2 of what our ultimate goal is, helping people establish their own chapters. And so if like we're working with the 21st TSC, and we're working with 10th Mountain Division, and we're working with 21st TSC. Under it was the 16th Sustainment Brigade. That's Lieutenant Maddie Easter. So instead of having just the brigade, I assisted her in reaching out to the commanding general to make the 21st TSC the overall chapter. But the 16th Sustainment Brigade is the nucleus of how the chapter began. And now can run it, because luckily they were already the Sisters in Arms. So we just changed them from Sisters in Arms and made them FMMP, because they weren't getting anywhere with Sisters in Arms. And so now that they're FMMP, they are the leadership that's running this 21st TSC, and people on wherever 21st TSC is will come to them. The funny thing about the 21st, and you're going to find with other locations like US Arcent, you know, Valerie Johnson, she's got sub chapters. 21st TSC has sub chapters under the 21st TSC in different locations. And so the brigade is the one that initiated it to be a program for 21st. At Fort Knox, the first TSC, Theater Sustainment Command, is going to be the nucleus of the FMMP chapter that I'm going to get started for Fort Knox. But first TSC will be the leaders of that chapter. Therefore, our commanding general, General Shirley, will be the leader over whoever is under whoever's in charge of Fort Knox. I don't remember who right now is in charge of Fort Knox, but the senior leader. And so it all works together, but we have an organization that is the lead of doing it. Coincidentally, when I was responding to the girl that asked the question under the Women's Mentorship Network, she said they just started up a female battalion mentorship program, not FMMP. She had never heard of it. She was trying to figure out what the program, what type of positions they would hold on a board and all that. And so that's when I introduced who we were. And I said, well, we would love to help you become a subordinate chapter. And not only that, we would assist you in Delia's FaceTime. Oh, Delia's free. We would assist her in, let me tell her to dial in. Dial into the Zoom. We're still on. Bam. Bam. Okay. And so assisting her by telling her, one, girl, you don't have to be in this by yourself. Join us. What is she doing? This says Delia. Why is it? Okay. She'll hopefully join in a minute. But at the same time, that goes back to what you were saying about establishing chapters separate from being on the committee. That was that part 2 of we have the executive board, but we have people that want to establish their own chapters. We will help them. That's where that chapter management comes in. Remember that committee that said chapter management? That committee will be the ones responsible for assisting in the establishment of other chapters that are out there. I thought we put that in there. We may not have. Let me look.
We added number 1, but then my formatting.
We lost it. That's what it was. Was that the one we lost?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's the one where assist chapters, assist with the stand-up or creation of local chapters. How about that? All right, let's finish that. And Mari, just so you know, side note, Mari, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, ma'am.
As soon as I get off this phone, I'm gonna finish that packet.
You
know I am,
The
girl.
midnight oil.
I'm gonna be doing it all night long, and I'm gonna have it there bright-eyed and bushy-tailed ready for them tomorrow, because that's the deadline. They gave us till Friday. I was like, awesome. Okay, Clopty, I'm so sorry, honey. Where are you now? You good? I took a side note that fast while you were typing. Okay, and so that goes back to that text of, if people want to have their own, and it's a great question. You didn't get it wrong. It's just a different question. If people do want to establish their own chapters at the same installation, like ASU, Army Sustainment University wants to establish a chapter, while 59th Ordnance Brigade has the chapter, that's fine. What we would do is encourage them to come together if we find out they're on the same installation, because why not? It makes sense. Come together as a chapter for the installation. You got the senior leadership. Like when General Donahue takes over as the CASCOM commanding general, don't know if y'all know that. She's about to be the commander. Hey, ma'am, you already know about the FMMP. Of all people, you should be out there trying to help us reestablish CASCOM's chapter again. And so we'll work on that with her pretty soon. We'll work on her. but we don't discourage them to have their own chapters. We will encourage, yes, start your chapter, but hey, you know, people down the street have one too. How about y'all team up and have a bigger chapter where all your people come together? That's how we have to do it. We don't tell them they can't do something. We encourage it, but we then offer a better solution to have people. Remember what I tell y'all all the time, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Mhm.
So encouraging them to start a chapter and then telling them that we can make it even easier for you by teaming up with a great group of people that's down the street, however we want to do it. How's that
Yep.
sound?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we are reviewing the tasks within each of the committees. The social media committee, that's the part I had Delia talk about at the very beginning. And we're going to have a separate class on that and just walk through specifically, because the night we get done with that, I want to launch it that night. And we're going to send it out with bells and whistles of FMNP is officially launching our Facebook page, relaunching. We now have we need a Twitter account. Let's put that, go back to the social media committee thingy
I was
while
gonna
it's
put
on my brain.
the class that's coming.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, you want the Twitter, establish a Twitter account, ma'am?
Yes. So yes, establish a Twitter. You can make that at the bottom. Wait, did you delete something?
Huh?
There you go. 8.
Uh-oh.
Mhm. Did you return from number 7?
Yes, I did. Let's
Then let me tell you how to do that. Okay, return.
make
I'm
number
sorry.
2.
Yeah, return it. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Return.
I'm here, ma'am.
Yep.
You
Click
can
return.
return.
Click
I don't-
return. Like you're gonna go to the next bullet. There you go. Well, okay. And so up in your bullet area. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think those are bulletized then. Those must have been what you just added, right? Okay, cool. No problem at all. Okay, create social media, FMNP social media accounts. And this is where the committee is going to be so valuable, because each person can monitor different accounts. Social media accounts on Twitter. Capitalize the T in Twitter. And when you go back to that T, put Facebook first. I'm so sorry, because we already have one. Twitter, LinkedIn, I don't want to say Instagram, because Instagram just to me is, you can connect my my Facebook page is connected to my Instagram account, although I do not monitor my Instagram account. I just want people to know that I just don't. But I know my pictures from Facebook go over to Instagram. So I have followers that I didn't even know I had. But I was like, and not a lot, but I just, create and monitor. How about that? Create and monitor. Oh, there you go. Oh,
We
shoot.
already
There it is
have it.
right there. My bad. No, you had it right the first time. Create and manage, girl. You do your thing. You keep that thing back up there, girl. That's what I'm talking about. I did not know that was already there. My bird. Well, you already had there you go. Reading is fundamental. Yes, it is. Okay, well, that was it. That's exactly the one I needed. And so the reason I wanted to say that is because that's going to be our biggest one. Admin secretary, we don't need to review the task right now, because we have to establish how we want to use you, Clothia, or have an assistant admin secretary assist you versus a committee, or have 2 assistants. You know what I mean? So we can start taking breaks also. You know what I mean? I want you to go, and just like y'all let me go on leave knowing everything was okay, but you know, my brain doesn't work like that, but I'm glad you forced me to make it work like that. So I want to make sure we have people that can assist. But that takes some time to sit down and talk through. I'm just going to go back to all the other admin secretary things like the rocks and some other chapters that I know are happening. Like the WIMSA, you guys know the Women in Memorial Military, whatever the thing is in DC, the WIMSA that's run by CW5 Phyllis Wilson or Williams Wilson. No, Phyllis Wilson. Phyllis is all over everything. She's on the AUSA board. This woman is a rock star. She's
I
on the
know she
AUSA
is.
board. She does like I do. She sends out the correspondence. You know what I mean? And when she sends it out, people pay attention. I think that, well, just like when we go out, there's people that be like, oh, we know about the FMNP. You know, when we went up to the Sec Army's office, there was a Black female lieutenant colonel that came out. She was like, ma'am, we watch everything you all do. We're like fangirling over here. I was like, really? I was like humbled. I was like, oh my God. Oh, she said, can we take a picture? I was like, sure. It was awesome, you know, but the names are out there. The people, the places that we've impacted are out there. If Cloftia walked into Fort Leavenworth right now, they'd be like, oh, you're the admin secretary for the FMNP, aren't you? And you'll be like, yes, I am. Mm-hmm. Maury, they'll be like, oh, you're the director of the, well, yes, I am. You know, and so that's that name recognition in the photos. I'm tempted to put, I already told Delia I want that photo that's on the SharePoint with all of us on there, on the American flag. If you haven't seen it, it's the one that has all our photos on there. We need to put that somewhere in the Facebook page to put introducing the executive board. And that's us. And then we put the SharePoint link. So under task, introduce or decide or identify. Let's say it this way. I'm just throw it out there. Y'all tell me if there's a better word for it. Under the social media page or the social media committee, where you
I'm in task,
Clofia?
ma'am. Is that where you want me?
Back in the social media committee. Really it's us. It's not gonna be the social media committee. It will be us, but I'll just throw it here for now. Identify or determine. Delia's FaceTime me again. Girl, dial in the Zoom. She might not remember. But why's my son's photo page showing up? Dial in, girl. Can you hear me? Unless something is wrong. Okay. So here's what I want to tell you. I want us to decide on the face of FMNP for each social media site profile picture. Decide on the identify or determine profile picture for each social media platform. How's that?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just Facebook, it's Twitter, social media, LinkedIn, all of that. Okay, that's a good one. Okay. I think, yes, honey.
I'm so sorry. I received 3 calls from my home. My mom.
Oh, go girl. No. You
I'm gonna-
look, we're about to end now anyway, because it is 8 o'clock. Lord knows. It's 8
I don't know
o'clock our
what's
time.
going on.
You go on,
Back to back calls.
save all of this for us and email it to us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And what we'll do is complete it, and I'll brainstorm some more after I finish Maury's packet tonight. I'll brainstorm some more, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much. You did awesome. Thank you, Maury. Love you 3. Love you
Clofia,
2.
you're awesome.
And I love the other ladies. You guys are awesome. Clofia, great work, girl. This is perfect.
Thank you.
You're
ladies.
wonderful. Bye, hon. Hope everything's
Bye.
okay at home.
I hope so too.
I'm so sorry.
I'm
Take
pretty sure
care.
it's good. It's just the back-to-back calls. I'm like, why? What's going on?
Send us a note. Send us a note. Let us know everything's okay. Okay. All right.
Yes,
Take
ma'am.
care.
Bye.
Bye bye. Hey, Clofty, let me call Delia because she's trying to call. I'm not Clofty.